Hey everybody, I'm game music composer Winifred Phillips, and today I'm going to share some commentary on the music I composed for the video game Wizardry, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord. First up, one of the biggest combat tracks I wrote for this game, titled Wrath of the Wizard. This was a fun track to compose. It was always going to be a choral track, making it one of the bigger action pieces in the score. The lyric of this track is based on the magical spells in the official Wizardry spellbook, so the choir is literally singing out the spell names that players use during combat, like Halito for fire, Manifo for paralysis, Lorto for blades, and so on. It's a fun Easter egg built into one of the more dramatic combat tracks in the game. Moving into the music for Gilgamesh's Tavern now. This is in the traveling minstrels mode, with the prominent lutes carrying the melody and rhythm. Very inspired by secular music of the period, that 12th to 13th century flavor, but also playing with some Renaissance ideas here too. Okay, we're now listening to Secret Doors. It's one of the exploration tracks for the dungeon levels. Definitely moving out of the historical music structure in favor of a more modern cinematic style. But we've got that simple harp ostinato happening, which keeps things feeling a bit intimate. Everything about the music in the dungeon needed to convey both menace and suspense, since players could be attacked at any given moment, and getting lost in the dungeon could be a really dire outcome. I let the low end of the orchestra carry a lot of the melodic content in the dungeon, and I kept things shifting and evolving so the music wouldn't feel predictable as you explore. The dungeon music was all about creating a string of tense moments that kept developing and changing in a fluid way. So this is Boltax's Trading Post. Really enjoyed working on this one. We're in the Renaissance period for this composition, specifically 14th century Italy with those mandolin tremolos. But we're also hearing some more international elements, exotic rhythms and harmonies that could have risen out of the Crusades. I was trying to make this trading post feel like a gateway to the world. Onward to the Temple of Kant. This is where players go when they need to petition the temple to revive one of their fallen comrades. Very solemn. I leaned on those zithers and dulcimers for some crystalline shimmer, with this refined Renaissance lute carrying the melody. We're listening now to Thieves' Dagger. It's another exploration track for the deep dungeon, and I wanted this one to feel particularly sneaky. I used tremolo glissandi in the low strings with lots of pizzicato and woodwind fragments to emphasize uncertainty, and then moments of doom, like this one. Here's another combat track. This is Dragon Slayer, very up-tempo and frantic with lots of rhythmic punctuation coming from the brass throughout. The melodic theme here is a recurring motif that's found throughout the score. In the music for the Adventures Inn and the Lord of the Castle music, it's also important in the Masters of Wizardry track that we'll be hearing later in this video. More brass punctuation here, with the string section supporting the anxiety with lots of whole tone and chromatic movement. Keeps the tension going. This one is called Murphy's Ghost. The structure straddles the idea of exploration with that of combat, alternating periods of suspense like this one, with orchestral builds and flourishes that follow after. It's designed to keep the pendulum swinging between subdued tension and high energy, like the build-up that we're hearing right now. The orchestral rises are structured with lots of chromatic figures. They toss some uncertainty into the tonal center, elevating the tension. All right, now we're looking at an important combat sequence late in the game, when players have made it to the bottom level of the dungeon. This is a further developed iteration of Wrath of the Wizard, continuing with the choral execution of the Wizardry spellbook. The lyric here translates to frost, light, resurrect, attack, and so on, which is actually part of the list of spell options we can see on the screen right now. Composing a track built around these spell names felt like a great way to salute the history of the game and acknowledge the enthusiasm of the fans. Such a great honor to compose the music for this game. See here, the wizard is about to lose the last of his hit points. It's a big moment. The amulet flies from his grasp, and he's sucked out of existence. Epic. Okay, here's Masters of Wizardry. It's the final track in the game, and it's also a further development of the recurring theme that we heard earlier during the Dragon Slayer combat track. These are some of the characters you encounter in the dungeon, which you can view like this after you've successfully defeated them. Wizardry is one of the most challenging games ever made, so this track is a reward for beating an incredibly difficult game. Well, I hope you enjoyed listening to this commentary. Please remember that you can grab the Wizardry official soundtrack album for free on Bandcamp. The link is in the comments below. Thanks, everybody.